Assalamualaikum to everyone. I hope that you all are doing good. For today's lecture, we're gonna to proceed with the next subtopic under legal aspect of business organizations, which is company. Alright, what is a company? Company basically is a business organization that is registered or incorporated under the Companies Act 2016 or its predecessor legislations. Please bear in mind that now we are using the latest Companies Act 2016. Right? If you guys are referring to the old manual is based on the Companies Act 1965, which is outdated, right? So please make sure that you are using the latest editions of manual. So this is the principal legislations that govern the company law in Malaysia. Alright, basically a company is recognized as a person in law, and it is also known as an artificial legal person that exists independently of the individuals who at any given time are the members of the corporate body. In other words, a company is a legal entity. Okay, and this company is separate and distinct from its members and shareholders. And law treats the persons who own and control the company as separate from the company itself. For example here, A, B and C set up company known as ABC Sendirian Berhad. So the law considers ABC Sendirian Berhad to be separate person altogether from A, B and C. According to the company law, they are separated. Okay, the members and the company are not the same entity. Alright, these are the types of companies in Malaysia. We have three types. First is a company limited by shares where the members' personal liabilities are limited to the par value of their shares. So it depends on the value of their shares. And private limited companies and public limited companies are the example of a company limited by shares. How do we identify the company limited by shares? It depends on the shares subscribed by the members, okay, or we call the subscriber as a shareholder, and they are only liable up to the unpaid shares only. Let's say you have fully unpaid let's say you have a full paid shares in the company. So in the events that the company went into liquidations, you are not liable because you own fully paid shares. But you will be liable to the debts of the company up to your unpaid shares. Okay, the second type of company is a company limited by guarantee, where the liabilities of the members will be restricted to the amount each agrees to contribute to the assets of the company in the event of dissolutions or liquidations. So when you join a company limited by guarantee, for example, let's say you guarantee up to 100,000 ringgit. So in the event your company went into liquidations, then you are liable. Okay, your liability is up to 100,000 ringgit only. And the third one is an unlimited company. There is no limit to the members' liabilities. So if the company went into liquidations, then the members as well as the company will be liable to the company's debt because it is unlimited company. Okay, before that, as you already know, for private limited companies, the company itself cannot sell shares to the general public. And when you can fund the private limited companies, for example, the name of private limited company ends with the word Sendirian Berhad. This is called as private limited company, or it use the abbreviation Sendirian Berhad SDN BHT. Okay, but for public limited companies, yes, they can raise capital by selling shares to public, and normally their status using the abbreviation BHD, or also known as Berhad after their name. Alright, there are few advantages of a company. First, company be regarded as artificial legal person and exists independently of the members. So the company and its members are separate persons. Next, a limited company has a limited liability for shareholders. In the event of failure of the business, shareholders are protected against the loss, okay, of more than the nominal value of their shareholdings. As what I explained to you just now, the shareholders is only liable up to the unpaid shares in the company. And then greater capital potential in order to secure finance for growth. So it provides a greater capital potential than sole proprietorship and partnership. Most companies have ease in securing finance for growth. So company can borrow from the financial institutions. However, company also have a few disadvantages. First, when you are going to set up your own company, it requires you to follow the considerable legal procedures and possible high cost of incorporation. Incorporation is uh, process to register your company. Once your company has been registered by SSMH, Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, then your company will be made known as Incorporation. Okay, and then for small limited companies, they having difficulties to borrow from the financial institutions. They cannot borrow extensively as desired. Precisely, they have limited liability. Thus, banks and financial institutions may be unable to recover their funds if the business fails. And then the growth of private limited companies may be limited because they cannot offer shares to public. Okay, so this is the important points that you must remember for a company. When we discuss about a company law, we need to know the effects of incorporation. So, what are the effects after your company has been successfully registered? Okay, the main effects, legal effects, based on the Companies Act 2016, based on Section 18 and Section 20, which covers Section 20A and B and Section 21 A and B. Sorry, this one is for Section 20 and Section 21 of the effects of incorporation. Okay, first we discuss the effects under Section 18 of the Companies Act. Upon the date of incorporation, there shall be accompanied by the name and registration number. And then every person whose name is stated as a member in the application for incorporation, his name will be in the register of members. If the company has a shared capital, every person whose name is stated in the application for incorporation becomes the shareholder. So when you subscribe shares, any share in the company, you will be declared as shareholder. The details of the register office of the company are as stated in the application for the registrations, and the person named in the statement as director or a secretary, if any, shall be deemed to have been appointed to that office. So these are the legal effects of incorporation based on section 18. Okay, another effects that you must focus is under section 20, subsection A. This is the first effects of incorporation. What I can say that this is a popular effects that you may discuss, okay, among you. Okay, based on section 20, subsection A, there is a legal personality of the company separate from that of its members, because law recognizes that a company is a separate legal entity and distinct from its shareholders. Okay, this is the landmark case based on the first effects of incorporation. Under in a case of Salomon and Co. Limited, this case introduced the principle of veil of incorporations. In example, the members are different and separate legal entities from the company. Okay, later on, when you come across the term a veil of incorporations principle, the meaning is equivalent to a separate legal entity. Okay, or sometimes the term Solomon's principle. So what happened in this case? How this case developed the principle of veil of incorporations, or develop a principle of separate legal entity. Okay, what happened in this case is that, okay, I hope that you can refer to your manual. Okay, we have Mr. Aaron Salomon. At that time, he was a sole trader, or also known as a sole proprietor. And later he wants to convert his proprietorship to the company. Okay, he decided to form a limited company to purchase his business, and he also wished to retain a control. In other words, he wants to become a controller for his own company. So at that time, okay, there must be at least 7 number of shareholders in order to constitute a company. So Solomon issued 1 share each to himself, his wife, and 5 of his children. So now they have So now they have 7 shareholders in his own company, and his wife and children held their shares as his nominees, and he and 2 of his sons were appointed as directors. Alright, then what happened? The business did not prosper. The business have a lot of debts, okay, from the debentures, okay, and Solomon's here becomes a secured debenture holder, and at the same time they also having an unsecured debenture holder. What is mean by debenture? Debenture is a debt security in order to prove that the company made loan with you. So in this case, his own company, Solomon's and Co Limited, also has debted to Solomon. Okay. Then what happened later? The company went into liquidation. Okay, the company are bankrupt, and the liquidator come. Who is the liquidator? Liquidator is the one who will count the asset of the company in order to settle the debt. So when the liquidator come, the liquidator said that Solomon is liable for his own company's debt. Okay, and then he brings the case to the court. Okay, and the House of Lords held that Solomon was under no liability to the company or its creditors and that his debentures were valid against the company. So in this case, we can conclude that Solomon and his own company, Solomon's and Co Limited, has a separate legal entity. So the debts of the company is only belong to that company, to Solomon's company, and Solomon is not going to settle the debts because of the veil of incorporations. So the courts usually do not look behind the veil to inquire why the company was formed or who really controls it. So when a company suffers debt, so only company is liable to pay for its own debt, not the members. Alright, another example of case here is Lee against Lee's Air Farming Limited. Lee formed a company in the business of aerial top dressings and he was the one who managed the company as the governing director. So in this case, he set up his own company known as Lee's Air Farming Limited and he becomes director. He continued to work as a pilot for the company. So now Lee became employee of his own company and the company took out workers' compensation insurance, naming Lee as the employee, and Lee was subsequently killed when his plane crashed while flying from the company and his widow made a claim under a workman compensation scheme. But the claim was rejected by the lower court on the grounds that Lee, having full control of the company, could not have been its employee within the meaning of the act, which required a contract of service with an employer, and the widow then appealed to the Privy Council. So the claim was rejected because they said that Lee and his own company as a single entity. So Lee cannot become an employee of his own company. But the court held that Lee was a different person from his own company. He was an employee of the company and therefore his wife was entitled for the claim. So they are liable to pay to Lee's widow. Alright. Next, we continue with the next legal effects under section 20, subsection B. Why can I stop the video?